What is up, friends? Welcome back to another edition of The Drive presented by Odds Checker. With me, as always, my guy at ADP Lack Sports on Twitter, Andy Lack. Andy, this week we head to Philadelphia for the Truist Championship, an elevated event. Philadelphia Cricket Club. A lot of us PGA hardos don't know anything about this golf course. So before we get into the odds board, is there like a player profile that you might be looking at or a winning score that could help lead us to that player this week, you think?
Yeah, of course. I mean, for me, it's all about wedges and putting. And I would say short iron proximity inside 150 yards, putting from 5 to 15 feet, putting on fast bent grass greens would be the type of statistics that I personally would be looking for this week. I guess if I was to give you a comp, Jeff, think about winged foot if the proximity distances were TPC River Highlands, like winged foot Oakmont Greens, if it was all wedges. So if you could deductively reason that, this is about as hard of a golf course as it gets for being a wedge fest. But at the end of the day, it is a wedge fest.
I mean, that's certainly fascinating. And what sort of winning score? Like, I'd guess like 12, 14 under,
More
more?
16, 18. I mean, the over under is 19 and a half, and I would take the under.
Okay.
But am I shocked? Listen, it's going to be an angry membership if it goes over. I would lean the under. But if we get rain, Jeff, 50% of the approach shots are inside 150 yards. Like there's only so much defense the course has. It's just too short. So for me, it's about wedge play and putting. I'm not on the distance narrative one bit. I mean, distance helps anywhere, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't use it at this golf course any more than I would at like TPC River Highlands. It's all about short iron approach play and putting for me.
All right, so let's get into those odds. Bringing up that odds checker grid here. Rory McIlroy, obviously like a deserving stand-alone favorite, 5 to 1. But just to get the round out the under 20 to 1 group, Morikawa 14, Schauffele 16, Thomas 18, Ludwig 18, Patrick Cantlay 20. Andy, it is an elevated event. It's feels like anything above 50 to 1 is certainly an outlier in these things. But are you making a move at 20 to 1 or under?
I bet Cantlay. And I don't feel great about it, Jeffrey, but what are you going to do? I've been on this Cantlay train quite a bit this season. I mean, to be honest with you, like I haven't even really bet him demonstrably more than I've bet all the other losers. I've had my spins on the Morikawa wheel. I've had my spins on the Fleetwood wheel, the Ludwig wheel, the Hovland wheel. Um, Cantlay at his best is a phenomenal northeastern bent grass player. I mean, he truly thrives in this part of the country, in this agronomy. And I talked about short iron approach play. Cantlay striping his irons right now. I mean, this is the best iron form that Cantlay has been in a very long time. He's gained over 3 strokes on approach in 4 straight starts. So I grabbed a 22 on Cantlay at Bookmaker. Um, why not? Why not? Cantlay's probably, due for a win times a gazillion, it feels like. What better a spot than the Northeast for him to get back on the horse?
I feel disgusting in saying this. We're doing it together, Andy.
Let's do it, buddy.
It felt gross. Although that happens, I guess, over the course of the season. I actually thought a lot on this betting board was gross, but
Yeah,
I'm here mainly because you are not getting me to make a bet between like 40 and 90 to 1. I'm
yeah,
just not. You might have something for us in a moment and we'll get there, but I'm not. You mentioned like Patrick Cantlay is hitting the ball as well as anybody, but he has lost the ability to hit those like 5, 6 foot
yeah,
putts. It is
yeah.
not just my perception, it is reality. God, I hope that's gotten fixed in a couple week layoff for the guy. But these fast bent grass greens, the way he's flushing it, it's one thing to bet on a bad putter. You're hoping to get hot. It's another thing to bet on a guy who is historically a really strong putter,
An
who is
elite putter
an elite putter who is not
on this
putting
surface.
well. So here we are. When I saw the number initially, I was disgusted, but then I didn't realize at first Scotty wasn't even playing this week yesterday. So maybe it's a little more palatable. I hope we
There's a
get Patrick
22
Cantley.
on Bookmaker, Jeff, by the way.
I hope we get Patrick Cantley, the golfer, not Patrick Cantley, the businessman. But there's not really other places I wanted to go here, Andy. I say that is because like any high end player who takes a prominent role on the PGA advisory board just like stops winning. It almost feels
Yeah.
like it happened with Rory for a time. But like Ludwig is tempting. But I don't know if I want to bet Ludwig in a wedge fest.
I don't
Granted,
even think it's the best golf course for
but that
Ludwig.
being said, Ludwig is the type of golfer, Andy, who if the winning score is like 24 under, I trust he could get there. And if it's 8 under, I trust that that's in his wheelhouse. So that's just why it's a bit appealing on an unknown. And, you know, maybe Xander Schauffele, but I'm going to have a very small, like Cantley and another high end player. And that is probably going
Yeah.
to be, it for me. I could be tempted by a Hovland. I've lost enough on Fleetwood responsibly, but that's, yeah, Patrick Cantley is, I, for as gross as I feel like making the bet, I actually feel pretty good about the bet. I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, it's a great course fit. I mean, he's played so well in this part of the country in the past, and the way that I am breaking down this golf course, the things that he is doing well right now, and the things that he has done well historically, all come up green for what this golf course is, in my humble opinion. So I feel about as good as you can about a bet at this short of a number for a player that hasn't won in years. But let's do the damn thing. I bet Cantlay at 22, and I've only made one more bet on this board.
Well, lay it on me, Andy.
I mean, it's our guy Dan Berger at 40.
I mean, if you don't think the distance is going to matter that much, I'd say at the Heritage, I thought Berger and Cantley were striking it as well as anybody. I don't think either of
They
them
were. I
could
mean,
make.
I'd add Strock into that mix too, but I mean, Berger, we were both on Berger at
There's
the
a
Heritage.
low number for Daniel Berger.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I believe 40s are still
So
available.
sell us on
I,
Dan Berger.
I mean, who's been playing better this season? I mean, he's got eight top 30s and 10 starts. I was on him for both of his top fives this year. He's actually sneakily played quite well in the Northeast. Like he's played well at Ridgewood before, he's played well at Shinnecock before, he's played well at Winged Foot before. I know that people think of Daniel Berger as a Southeastern Bermuda guy. He's got plenty of solid results in the Northeast. And if we are talking about the fundamental skill set of putting from 5 to 15 feet and proximity inside 150 yards, I mean, you're going to be hard pressed to find too many better players that check both of those boxes in the same way that Berger does.
I agree. Like I love Dan Berger. I agree everything you said. His floor is really high. Like clearly,
Yeah,
winning to me it feels like a bit of
that's fair.
a different conversation. I'd put Corey Connors in this group as well. High water mark. I'm seeing a 33 to 1. Another
Mhm.
guy like, oh my God, you gotta trust him to like win this field. It's a tough ask, but
All
again,
I love Lowry too,
yeah,
but like, is Lowry going to be the last man
yeah.
standing?
And you mentioned Straka. Like I think these are all fair golfers. And the reason in some ways I might be drawn to one of them is because I truly have no interest in betting other guys this week. I have
Oh,
no interest
I'm with you.
in making
I'm
a
with
long
you.
shot bet this week. I will tip my cap to the golfer, to anyone who has the stones to bet the golfer who wins this thing north of 50 to 1. Better yet, who wins next week north of 50 to 1. So let me, Andy, it's going to be Cantley. We're going to get it done. I'm going to supplement Cantley with something else really pretty high end. Be it
Yeah.
Hovland, be it
Who's your
Ludwig.
who's your who's your favorite other option, to pair with Cantlay at the top?
It's Ludwig, or I'll go further back for Victor. But I think I don't know if this week.
What about Xander and Morikawa?
Yeah,
No interest there?
Xander. I've thought about
Yeah.
Cantley Xander, two man in and out.
If
Next week.
if 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 my opinion matters, I would put Xander above Ludwig this week, personally.
Yeah, I sort of agree with you. Might not be the most ideal place for Ludwig. So let's, instead of talking about long shots because we have none, let me do this for you, Andy, and our
Mhm.
listeners, and then we'll get out of here. But PGA Championship next week. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Everyone like Rory, Scotty, Bryson playing amazing. It's gonna be phenomenal. I'm staring at that odds checker grid to get a vibe on where those numbers stand right now. So with that, who have you like not bet for the PGA Championship? And usually we don't see like before the Masters, they were at the Valero. We didn't see this level of amount of high end players. Who have you not bet, but you are like watching keenly this week? You're not betting them this week. You haven't bet them yet next week. But like if you see life by like dinner time Friday, Saturday, you have pulled a trigger. Who are you like hawking this week on a tracker?
Probably Hovland.
Yeah. Next week,
Pro-
I mean, Quail Hollow feels
Probably
perfect for
Hovland.
those
I
long
just
irons,
like
right?
Quail Hollow for
Yeah,
Hovland to win.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, I'm losing my voice. I'm so excited for next week just talking about it. I mean, Hovland.
Probably Hovland. I mean,
I'll
Geoff,
say who else.
how
I'll be honest.
how popular do you think a Bryson Hovland card is going to be? Because I mean, how what's wrong with that card? I mean,
Uh,
talk
Sign me
about
up.
two guys
Sign
you'd
me
feel
up.
pretty good going to battle with. You know what I mean? I mean, if you're
Absolutely.
not gonna let me ask you this quick
Can
question.
I just answer my
Yeah,
question I asked you for
yeah, yeah,
myself?
yeah.
I think for me, it'd be Hideki. He's
Okay.
always like a silent assassin, hasn't played since the Masters, really like abysmal putter. Even the Masters, which doesn't have the official numbers out, it's like I saw he lost like 4 strokes there that week. But he's the type of guy we know can snap and change it on a dime. So, and there are some nice Hideki numbers like 40, 50 out there next week. So he'd be a guy. I'm not like maybe in a rush, but he's a guy I'll be watching closely with the PGA Championship in mind.
Yeah, fair enough. I've got nothing bad to say about Hideki. I guess let me ask you this final question. Um, would you consider after what you saw from Scotty last week and what you saw from Rory at the Masters, are you just going to take him on, or is there any part of you that is properly terrified of those two big guys at the top?
Properly terrified, and you see how Bryson
Yeah.
is playing, and he goes from places like Doral to Augusta, like not the same. Like he seems course proof, major championship venue proof at the moment. I'm going to take them on, but I am not. I'm going to take them on. Like, how do I put this? I'm not going to bet as much as people might think next
Yeah.
week. And I will say
Yeah.
this: these modern major championships, Andy, they're not the greatest places to like bet a little, win a lot. Like, let's just be honest, right?
Yeah.
Long shots at the majors are like 50 to 1. It feels like. Now,
Yeah.
granted, people throw
Yeah.
Harmon and Wyndham at me, and I tip my cap. That's all I can do. But I'm not a part of it. I won't be. Like, there's too much good golf at the top. So I'll be like
Yeah.
way more responsible next
Yeah.
week because of how afraid I am of everything you brought up.
Yeah. I kind of think Scotty's going to win, man. I think he's peaking at the right time, unfortunately.
Seems like it. It's almost like the golf better in me. Like, in tennis, we can get like the matchups just happen, like the best versus the best. Like
Mhm.
I know we got Bryce and Rory at the Masters, and I don't want to be greedy, but hopefully we get something like that again, Scotty, Rory, which we never get. Like that's where my head is at. Andy, it's always great talking to you. When we speak again, we will be previewing the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. I cannot wait. I almost just want this tournament out of here. Like I just want to get to that major next week. So that is just totally where my mind is at right now. I'm all over that odds checker grid. Have a good feeling where the numbers are. You should be too. Even NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, baseball, all of it. Love me some oddschecker.com. For Andy, I'm Geoff. We'll be back next week previewing the PGA Championship in good old Charlotte. We're out.